London is made up of hundreds of different ethnic communities. It's a strength in this most cosmopolitan of cities, but it brings its own problems.
I think we've certainly seen cases where people from particular countries, if they've a member of a particular political organisation or maybe even a former terrorist organisation, who come into the UK and maintain some of the squabbles and the difficulties which occurred back in their host countries. These old squabbles manifest themselves in terms of violence on the streets of the UK.
This is a religious ceremony in the heart of one of London's many ethnic communities. It's a Hindu temple near Wembley in North London, a place of worship for London's Tamil community. Many of them refugees from Sri Lanka's bloody civil war between government forces and rebel Tamil tigers. But the rivalries at home didn't end when they arrived in London.
This is a poster notifying the community that a sports event has been cancelled. When they have their kind of local community events, these gangs turn up, and because of previous fights, massive fights apparently between these gangs involving weapons, fists, etc., they've cancelled it. The police won't let them have any more meetings of this nature because of the violence that occurs out there.
This is what happened recently in this small corner of London. Police, acting on a tip-off, raided this normal house in a normal street. They arrested several Tamil gang members and came out with bagfuls of evidence. I meet up with the local business leader who is worried about the effect of the gangs on the 100,000-strong Tamil community.
So far as I know, about 4 murders have taken place in this area. And they threaten people. They don't have any values whatsoever. They are totally detached from the mainstream Tamils, and they cause enough harm to the Tamil people and the businesses here.
Can you give me some examples of what's happened lately?
That restaurant, some youngsters went there, had dinner. They had an argument over a woman problem and £200 debt. And one chap was pulled out, he was beaten, bundled into a car.
These are gang members that did this?
The gang members. He was also part of the gang members, possibly he's a weaker member. And he was taken to Roe Green Park. He was killed, he was burnt alive.
They set fire to him?
Yes, he died. Yeah.
In Sri Lanka, what would happen to them there?
The police is basically very harsh, they are rough, you see. If they try to be funny, they'll get beaten, you see, by the police. So they are scared of the police. They're scared of the police. Here it is liberal. They can say anything they want. They are absolutely aggressive. They don't care about the police.
There are an estimated 40 Tamil gangs in London, with names like the Wembley Boys and the Walthamstow Boys. But in this close-knit community, it's hard to make contact with either gang members or their victims.
Come to a part of East London to meet a man who's basically works as a liaison between the Tamil community in East London and the police. Going to try and find out whether he's willing to tell us a bit about how these gangs operate and how they affect the local community. Do the people who are the victims of these gangs, do they find it hard to go to the police?
That's the main reason. That's the main reason they are coming to us, because they are for some other reason they are unable to speak to the police because they are scared. And also,
what do you mean? They would be beaten up if they talked to us?
Or kidnapped or something like that.
Kidnapped? So these gangs kidnap people for ransom?
Sometimes, yes. Not ransom. To torture them or to punish them. Yes, they are putting the knives or blades and they putting the chili powder and using them, hanging the
chili powder.
Chili powder. Put them in the wounds.
Cut them open.
Open and put the chili powder in the wound, and hang the people upside down
Hang people upside down?
Upside down.
What do they use, knives or guns? Or what
basically knives, baseball bat, cricket bat, those sort of equipments mainly, and axe sometimes.
When they fight each other, they use swords?
Yes, swords, axe.
Axe?
Yes, and knives, blades, that sort of. And also there are fish tail also in Sri Lanka used.
Fish tail?
Fish tail. One type of fish tail is in the like a barbed wire. There's a
barbs on it, and what they use for slashing.
Slashing, yes.
This is a sort of entertainment that has emerged from a culture where a civil war has raged for over 20 years. Violent Tamil films with bloody fight scenes.
Do you think that the violence that some of these kids have experienced back in Sri Lanka affects the way they behave when they come to the UK?
They came from the violent background. Their mind are in violent way, and they are not in quite ready to get into the community straight away. So they are affected mentally.
Yeah,
because also some of them are in past they are also themselves as torture victims.
Oh, I don't know about you, but I found that quite surprising. Here we are in Manor Park, E12, and we've got kidnappings, torturing, wounds being opened and chili powder being poured into them. A little surprising.
But it's not just old feuds.